Hi, let's talk about this cloud wig. So I started off with my favourite short wig from Coscraft UK, the Super Mario, this time in a pale ash blonde. You can check out my other video all about how fab the Super Mario is from back in July 2023. I sewed some extra wefts in a more golden shade of blonde to add a little more shade diversity to the wig. I like seeing colour variegation, it adds a little more warmth. It was about one extra weft for every 3 wefts that were already in the wig. While I was adding wefts, I also unpicked the permatease that comes at the roots of this base wig so that I could have full directional control of the fibres right from the root. Then came the teasing. This is a heat resistant wig, so I chose not to use crimpers on this occasion. I used a straightener and a teasing brush and aggressive back combing. So the straightener heats the plastic fibres, which softens them, and then the back combing of the fibres, while they are soft from the heat, creates lots of kinks and abrasions in the fibre. And then if you brush out your back combing, once the fibres have cooled down a bit, you get a lot of volume and a lot of texture, a lot of grip in the fibres, and then they're more inclined to defy gravity, which is really useful for spiking. They also lose a lot of their shine, their sheen, because they tend to look a lot more natural and photograph better. There is definitely a balance to be struck to the precise degree of back combing needed for different styles to get the right amount of lift at an aesthetic texture point. I need the texture, but I still want my spikes to look smooth, and it does take a bit of practice to know which sections to be more aggressive with, which sections to be less aggressive with. As I said, this is a heat resistant wig and it's a good one, so equally if I want to get rid of some of my back combing, some of my teasing, because I feel I've got too much volume, I can do that with, again, judicial application of some heat source. For me, in this case, that usually means handheld garment steamer. I prefer using that moisture. The moisture, by dampening the fibres, it also neutralises a lot of the electric charge that might be caused by static, and I find it just helps me control that a bit better. And you can do this without damaging the wig, so you can tease, untease, tease, untease, keep going until you find your desired effect. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to spiked wigs, like to section and band off every bit of hair for every spike that they're going to make, and that definitely works for some people, but it's not my style. I prefer to spike with my heart, and I like to shape my fibres with scissors and with heat into a rough shape of what I want from the finished style. So for this wig, for instance, I'll be thinking these sections need to go upwards. There's a whirl here from which all these hairs move, and I want to make sure that they rationally swirl out from this parting just here. And of course in the back we want to make sure we've got the duck butt going on, and that these sides are going whoosh, but they sort of curve up, as you can see here. So this is my rough styling. It's like a draft, a sketch, some roughly shaped clay. When I'm happy with this draft, only then do I go in and start pulling out details for the individual spikes. And for that I use got2b hairspray and a heat shaping tool of some sort. That might mean hairdryer, steam, a straightener. It depends on the situation and my mood. Now, interestingly with Cloud is, you look at enough references how soft all his spikes are. They move very easily in the wind and then magically fall back into place. Mako, am I right, fellas? For cosplay, I find it's better to err on the side of caution and put a little more structure into my spikes. So once I'm happy with them, I do tip each of these spikes with a transparent hard dry gel for durability. I like to leave plenty of sideburn on my Cloud wigs so that the wearer can use them to contour their face however works best for them. So for instance, I have quite a wide face, and when I cosplay Cloud, I like to pull these sideburns forward and glue them to my face fairly straight to create sort of pentagon shape out of my face. This helps me look more like Cloud, a little more masculine. How do we glue down the sideburns? That's going to be a video for another day.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang.